Welcome, everybody. My name is Nictory, and tonight I am going to be streaming Pharaoh: A New Era, which is a remake of the original 1999 release of Pharaoh by Impressionist Games. So this one has a whole new crediting. Dotemu, I believe is how you pronounce that, and Triskel Interactive, which are French companies. And I believe Triskel Interactive specializes in isometric city placement games, and Dotemu is a retro game reimager or like remaker. So they released Pharaoh: A New Era in I believe 2023, and I just discovered it last week, I think, so the day after my birthday. I am absolutely delighted to get to play, which is basically my favorite game of my childhood. I can't say of all time because we still have like Breath of the Wild out there and stuff, and Final Fantasy X, both of which may make an appearance someday down the road. But let's go ahead. Tonight's goal is to try to speed run through the entire tutorial in one sitting. I think I can do it if I go at 5 times speed. We'll see. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started tonight. There's going to be a brief blank screen as I take down the promo card, and we start the game. Alright, there we are, Pharaoh: A New Era. So, from the initial home screen, the options would be play, continue. Mission editor is like custom missions, so you can eventually make your own maps and play them. Options is really nice. They have some great features. Global labor pool will be on. It's a slightly easier mode, but I'm gonna roll with it. The thing I'll have to remember is I set storage yards and granaries to default except none. Actually, you know what? Why don't we just change that to all? I'll explain what that does as we get into it. Now that should make the speed running a little bit easier. The game has a campaign. So we're going to be playing the Nikot family, just the name I made up. And it is basically a generational city building game. So every mission we go to is intended to be a new generation of the Nikot family. And we only have a certain amount of time, so let's go ahead and get started. The early missions do handhold you quite a bit, as you will soon find out. This is our win condition, so we have a goal to create 6 meager shanties. We also have defeat conditions. We will lose.
Welcome to ancient Egypt, land of the pharaohs. Here you'll participate in the history of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever seen. In an epic story that spans more than 15 centuries and 24 generations. You must lead one family, generation by generation, from its earliest beginnings in Egyptian prehistory, through the dawn of civilization, to the establishment of a unique and powerful empire and beyond. Our story begins more than 5,000 years ago, along the banks of the Nile River in an area known as Nikot. Here, a small confederacy of clans struggles to eke out an existence in the harsh environment. With you at its head, your family leads this small settlement.
Our defeat conditions will pretty much remain the same, at least throughout the tutorial. So we are lost if our debt rises to negative 5,000 debins. Keep a close eye on your treasury. Humble beginnings. So the first thing this village needs are housing. And I might not read all of these, but we'll try to stop and explain it at least. So this is showing us how the housing is laid out. And it's a 2x2. We click and drag. And for the tutorial, we're really just filling things in here, is how it works. It just wants you to follow the patterns. So this is the road. We've reached 100 people. Oop. And they'll fill in on their own. To evolve houses, which is how you get more population and like higher population density, they need access to water. So we'll start off with the well. And they will also need food. So in this case, the starter food source is going to be a hunting lodge. And we hunt ostrich meat. Walkers spawn and return points. So these areas here are where the walker, like these little individual people, they will come out of a building and return to a building, and that's actually a pretty key factor in the city design. Usually for down the road, if you are working with a limited amount of space and you really need to develop very high, because you can do what's called a forced walker, basically extend their natural patterns, but we'll get into that more later. Ambulomancy is what they're talking about, like these little people walking around. Roadblocks. So this is how you prevent them from just wandering anywhere. And buildings do have a risk of collapsing or catching on fire. And then, of course, people want cleaner water. Boom! All right, first mission done.
By filling your people's bellies with nourishing food and protecting their homes from fire and collapse, you have helped this fledgling civilization take its first step on the long road of history.
We'll move on to mission number 2. Thinnest. One ordinary cottage. So we're gonna get into the development mechanic.
After many years and the passing of a generation, your family has resettled in the area of Inis, in Upper Egypt. Here, a small band of local rulers is attempting to extend its influence over Lower Egypt and all lands along the River Nile, and to unite this realm under its own house with one supreme leader. Establishing Thinis as a thriving city like nothing ever seen before will prove the worthiness of the Thinite Confederacy and help them gain supremacy over Lower Egypt and the other factions vying for power. In time, this will mean providing the population with entertainment and building wonderful temples to worship the region's patron deity. To build a city this grand will require a substantial supply of cash. You'll find rich deposits of gold ore in Thinis, and harvesting them should be your first priority.
Alright, so Devon's money was the ruler of all, really, more so than the Pharaoh. So the first thing we're gonna want to do, we're gonna do a little assessment. So I'm actually just gonna scroll backwards, and we're gonna get a better look at the map here. This here would be farmland, but I don't think we can farm yet. No, we're still on hunting lodges. Here, looks like over here's where we've got the gold. So we're gonna want to place gold mines in this area at some point. But that's not currently accessible. Right now I have the map on paused. So up here, this is the calendar. So each month will pass and years will pass. There is a Nile flood prediction, and this is where we would keep an eye on our population, and this is where we'd keep an eye on our treasury. So we want to start off building some basic housing. So I'm gonna go ahead and do like a basic city, a basic square neighborhood, like a block, and then I'll get more into it. The style that I build in is loosely, well, it's based off of Seven Wolf 77's design, who's got a great tutorial on YouTube, which is a adapted version of the example they give you at start. So we want to build out a square. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And for now, we'll block this up. Hello, Wicker Dolphin. We passed the first mission really quickly, and we're moving on to the second. We're trying to speed run through the tutorial. So all neighborhoods need a source of water. They explained that in the first one. And they also need a few other things here. Let's start, let's put this up here. So they need an architect. Actually, undo that. Where do I want to put the architect? A firehouse, an architect. That's what we got there. And then we need housing. No cats, only ostriches. There are cats too. There's a very important kitty god we have to eventually pay tribute to. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll make sure we've got a couple there. It's not where I would normally place them, but that's okay. Then we'll go ahead and unpause, speed things up a little bit, get people to move in. And once we have a little bit of population going, 100 people, we'll pause again, and we'll add in the hunting lodges and the granary and bazaar. So make sure we get people fed. I think that's all we currently have access to until the mines open up. Okay, so here's another little building trick. By spacing the blocks of housing lots like this, you can force them to evolve correctly. Because if you just do like a string of them, they don't necessarily evolve in the 4x4 condition, which is the better version. But you can also like place one housing lot or two. But these are a better use of space, because you can get a lot more people into buildings that are the 4x4s. Like our population's already up over 400, which is excellent. Okay, each structure you place costs Devon, so it's warning you basically not to overspend. Oh, it's also introducing the gold mine. So we'll go ahead and pause. It's a good habit also to pause when you're building, because if you place a building down and it becomes occupied by workers, you can't then undo that. So you would just basically, if you wanted to fix it, you'd be wasting money. And as I've mentioned, finances are very important here. Now we want to build gold mines. Right here. And buildings have to have access to a road. Oh. I want this to be just a straight road down. Well, okay, that's close enough. Oop. All right. Now, I'll explain a couple things. So, these are now occupied by workers. I need to make a road from the mines to the housing. That's I don't under the global labor pool setting, because basically as long as I have unemployment, wherever I build a building that needs workers, they'll pull from unemployment. Now, if I did not have that setting turned on, you would actually have to have housing units in this area for the mine like foremans to pass along. So it just depends on how, like, it's a difficulty thing. But I do not have that. I don't really enjoy that setting. Yes, it's a system of tips. So the palace is where gold will be delivered to. Ooh, we reached 500. That's exciting. Crime. Okay, so here's another thing too. With high unemployment and gold running around, eventually we would see criminals pop up here. So what we want to do are build in want to have a police station near there. We want to have a firehouse and an architect's here. Okay, overlays. You can check your houses by clicking on them to see if there's a risk of crime. So this is a tool. And it would tell us if there is a risk of crime. We actually have to add in a police station over here. Crime is not the only challenge you will face. Health can cause problems and decimate your citizens. Physicians patrolling the neighborhood will protect its inhabitants from diseases. Let's put the physician here. Oh, I'm actually not leaving very much room for entertainment. I guess just right here. An Egyptian city cannot truly flourish without a suitable place of worship. These people are so needy. They want food, money, and not to be diseased. The nerve. Yes, 12th Night. They want a lot of things, and they're gonna get needier as you go along. Go figure. So now they want a temple. We will put it right there. Okay. Temples are tall buildings and can hide what's behind them, is what it's telling us. So this game has introduced what's called a flat mode that basically just clears off the height of the buildings and kind of gives you what category they're in. And the gods like shrines as well. See, Kitty God. Jeff's favorite god. Oops. Yes. And I'm gonna show you a secret about Kitty God. Probably in the 5th map. Overseer of the temples. So overseers kind of give you a summary of what your city's statistics are. So they have this. There are 5 gods available, and it'll tell you if there's a patron god with this little symbol. So we only have 1 god currently active, so Bast. We're gonna throw her a cheap festival because I don't have very much gold. Oh, entertainment. Okay. Now, I think that's the only place we can put it. Of course, the cat god is apathetic. She shouldn't be apathetic for much longer, I'm hoping. Okay. It's a rough cottage. This needs to be improved. What's the problem here? Oh, desirability. Of course it is. Alright, we're gonna cheese this a little bit. There we go. Okay.
Excellent! You have built the first true city in this unforgiving land, providing for your citizens' corporal and spiritual needs, and have helped the Thinite Confederacy unify the divided land.
So basically the little trick to that is, not only do these people want food, clean water, healthcare, religion, yep, 16 months in. They want all these things. They also want to live in a very pretty house. And the prettier the house, like, the more you can eventually tax them. Per budget. All right, we're up to city number 3. We're actually making good time. Those first couple ones go really fast. So now we have a population requirement. We have to reach 600 in population and 10 modest homesteads. It doesn't have to be affordable housing. It just has to be aesthetically pleasing housing is what they want.
The Thinite nobles still struggle to unite the lands of the Nile under one supreme ruler. To aid them in their cause, it is hoped that you will endeavor to establish a thriving community at Perwatchit, in the humid delta region of Lower Egypt, thus spreading their influence throughout the length of the sacred river. To support a population larger than that of a village, you must learn to use agriculture. Egyptian farmers have begun to exploit the rich, fertile soil deposited by the annual inundation of the Nile River for growing crops. The Nile can be hazardous, however. Many dangers lurk along its banks and in its waters, such as deadly crocodiles, hippopotamuses, and malaria-carrying mosquitoes.
Okay, here's where we might come into a little bit of trouble, because I'm going to do some groundwork building the city, because you really want to get that first harvest of food. Yes, death by hippos, that can happen. Also crocodiles. And hyenas, all kinds of things. So I want to do a little bit of building, but I also have to be careful not to overspend. So let's do a little city assessment here. Now, this is the floodplains along the Nile. This is where we can currently build the farm. So we don't have irrigation tools yet. We can only build farmlands in these areas, and then they flood every year. We want to make sure we have the first harvest captured, or we will struggle with food. Let's also take a look at what we've got going on. So we've got our usual infrastructure. We're gonna have the palace. Looks like our food source is going to be figs. And we will eventually be making pottery. Our patron god will be Osiris, which makes perfect sense. And we're still only going to have juggling booths. Alright. Alright. I think we'll build in this direction. So let's zoom in a little bit. So we want to count out our neighborhood block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 road. I guess technically I probably didn't need 2 of them. Let's take you away. So this will be where we build out our residential block, but we also want to have a little bit of space here for clay pits, farms, greeneries, and storage and such. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to think here. How can we get them to walk along both loops? That's tricky. Alright, well, for the moment, we'll just block this off. We'll focus on one loop. Alright, these people will wander everywhere. So right now I'm adding in farms, and you need one work camp can occupy 4 farms. So you would want one there. And again, we gotta watch our treasury, so we might just stop with that. And these guys also need roads. Everything needs roads. Maybe you need traffic circles. That, I mean, I don't know if you noticed, that's essentially what the neighborhood blocks are. Traffic circles are how you build this game, thus proving the superiority of traffic circles. I mean, it just makes perfect sense. This building cannot collapse, but it is a fire risk. So it's telling me it would need a firehouse. There. You know what? For good measure, we'll throw a shrine there. And we don't have access to a storage yard, so we're gonna go ahead and build a granary. Oops. You know what? We're gonna take the architect out there and put in the police station, and we'll put the architect right here. Now the reason I'm doing it that way is because each building has a desirability, positive or negative. Ooh. Okay, I probably should have moved this back a little further, but that's okay. So the granary offends people to this extent. Like if I were to place a housing unit in this area, no one would prefer to live here, but there are worse places. And this is one of the least desirable places in town. So they're very picky about what buildings you put next to them. I mean, like I've said before, it's like kind of like a real life example of having a dog food factory nearby. Okay. But I don't think they really want to live there either. They will want to live. Actually, I can do it this way. Let's do this. This is how the actual game teaches you to build, with your housing on the inner block. We'll leave it there. Okay, so we've got farms ready to go. We've got some things. No fire risk, no collapse risk. That's great. Oh, wait. That actually means I do need an architect here. Got our infrastructure. We get to build a palace. We can actually, I think we can combat the granary a little bit. Or we can combat... Let's go ahead and put it here. Ugh, that was probably an expensive build. You can use more desirable buildings, I believe, to improve a location's desirability. Most people would find this a pleasant place to live. That's because we put in some nicer buildings. Okay. Oh, we did build the entertainment down there. Now, the best place to put the juggling school will actually be down here. The reason is because as the jugglers, the walkers that are jugglers, move from here, they're going to head in this direction. And as they pass by the housing, they're going to provide the entertainment that it needs. All right, let's go ahead and get our population in, or at least get started in our population. Hello, people. We reached 100. That may be too many people. That's okay. Oh, I also didn't build one more expensive and important thing. Osiris will also want parties. Since Osiris controls the flooding, and thus how much food we get, we probably want to keep him happy. Now we do have to be a little more careful of our spending. You reach any place here. Okay, you go there. Keep upgrading my housing. Oh. I didn't actually build these people a way to get food. I should have put it closer to the greenery. That was my mistake. Placement does matter to a certain extent as well. So these are clay pits and potters. I actually don't want them to accept clay. We'll accept half pottery. We'll accept half figs. What is our unemployment? 0%. Okay, we just don't have enough people who've moved in yet. We're doing really good on our food though. 500 out of 600. Alright, we should... Beautification. Okay, so now should I talk about everybody wants a fancy place to live. It's very important that we add gardens and fancy roads. Oh, is this gonna be... Okay, that should be plenty. Hopefully. Nope. Okay, they're gonna want some too. You have to be careful with beautification because you could outspend yourself very quickly. Double harvest. There we go.
Superb. Your own citizens are beginning to look to you as their caretaker, and neighboring cities also hail you as a provider in times of need.
Alright, that was per Wadget, which I believe is the 3rd tutorial mission. We're moving through them. That's okay, the last one will take us a while. Nikot. A population of 1,000. Now we're getting into some bigger numbers. 10 modest apartments. And we're gonna have some gods to please. Multiples. Alright, Nikot. Alright, we've got... That's a pretty big map. We've got our farmland up here. Grain farms and eventually barley farms, which tell us we're gonna need to make beer. We still got clay and pottery, which is good. The big thing will be balancing the 3 deities without going out of money. As you can see, we have a nice boost to our Devons here. And we're going to be upgrading to bandstands, which is nice. Alright. We'll zoom in a little bit. And we know we're going to need a festival square if we've got multiple gods. Water sources have to have some access to like green land. They can't be built if the land is too arid. Okay. Alright, we're just planning ahead a little bit right now. We're gonna want the clay pits over here, but then I'm gonna want the entertainment buildings over here because we want them to walk to the areas where they need to go. So something like that. That should work. We'll do 4 plots on that side, and we'll mimic it on this side. And for now, we'll leave this area, because we're going to eventually replace these juggler stands with bandstands. Okay, so we got housing, water. I'll remember to give you a way to get food this time. You want a doctor. You want, I think Raw is our patron. We'll do that. Okay, that's not perfect, but it should do. And oh, the village palace also needs. Okay, village palace also needs greenery. Forgot that. Ooh. Okay. Okay, we can make a place for the village palace. We'll go ahead and put it there. A lot of things are just honestly infrastructure at this point, or make sure things don't collapse. That should make our deities happy to have plenty of shrines. You have to put a shrine within 2 blocks from a road, otherwise it won't work. And we'll build out some. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the reason I build the farms this far back is the further in the floodplains, the more saturated, so the better yield it'll produce. That's usually why you would start with the spaces further back. Okay, that's one. Oh, green. We're probably gonna want a bit more here. Green is not really a high yield harvest. Go 2 there. Okay, so we do not want it to accept clay. We do not want it to accept straw. We will go ahead and accept grain by half, pottery by half. And right now we're not worried about beer and barley. Alright, let's go ahead and get a population started. Develop our city. Ooh. 1, 2, did I? Okay, yeah, we spaced that out correctly. Oh, also keep in mind, they want it to be a pretty place to live. We'll include some nice gardens. And plazas. Yeah, that costs a lot, but it is usually worth it. Usually. That's also why we put the temple in the like central area, because it'll help develop these buildings. We can also put statues. Let's see, we're near the Nile. Let's go ahead and do the gator statue. Greenery will definitely help from 12th night. It will. It makes it seem a little, I mean, the shade, right? I bet it gets pretty hot here. I think I have everything. Position, apothecary, temple, bazaars. We should be good. Pretty low unemployment, which is nice. Oh, it needs food. That's what it needs. So we are just dependent on this. Oh, actually, there's one more thing we can do. So our overseer of commerce controls what we make and what we export. We don't want to make straw. We're not yet, anyway. I thought maybe we wouldn't have enough storage for the harvest, so that's why I added a second warehouse. This is looking really good. Oh. So we have a problem for something. I guess they want us to be able to do something with the... There we go. Our warehouse needs to be able to accept it. There we go. We got tons of straw. Okay. Did I? Okay. Now I have to make sure we can fit a bandstand in here somehow. Oh good, we can. We cannot on this side. So I guess we'll just have one juggler and one bandstand. Oh, hang on. We forgot a vital important thing here. We did not get our clay started. We're gonna need to do that. We're also going to need to start producing some barley. 2, 3, 4 should be plenty of barley. This is not the best way to design this. I really probably should put in another loop and do 2 by 2 because I am going to run out of storage space. We can try to solve some of that at some point. We're gonna have a lot of development going on really quickly here. Yeah, as these guys get food, they're gonna... Alright, now what's... They still just need food. And that's why we put 2 bazaars in, because they'll help get the food coverage out to be a little more evenly distributed, which is nice. So we are running low on money. Let's start throwing some festivals so we don't make our gods angry. And let's make sure we accept, yeah, we do accept barley, we do accept beer. We probably need... about 1 more storage yard to help with things. So now we've got jugglers and musicians. We've got a tax collector, which should help offset some of our expenses, although it's not going to be that much, to be honest. We've got to try to reach 1,000 in population, which means these guys have to continue to develop. So it wants pottery. Alright, several things unlocked here. I can also have my own home, which is exciting. We'll go ahead and offset the clay a little bit. Okay. We should be able to start doing the breweries really good here. Alright, we're fastly on our way to 1,000 population. That's exciting. Modest apartments. Spacious homestead. And water crossings aren't important at this juncture. Alright, there we go.
Well done. Thanks to your capable leadership, Egyptian civilization has advanced considerably and will continue to do so in the coming decades.
We actually ended up with 15 culture rating, no prosperity, kingdom rating 48, and a population of 1,004. And I think since we've reached the hour mark and we've hit the first 4 stages of the tutorial, we'll go ahead and do a brief intermission, and we'll come back and work on Menefer, which should be our last city of the night, so we may take our time a little bit. This one also won't go as quickly for other reasons. So we'll go ahead and take a few minutes and we'll be back in about 3 to 4 minutes. Settling back in, we have reached the 5th and final tutorial mission of the Archaic period for Pharaoh, A New Era. As a recap, my name is Nikot, and we are playing Pharaoh, A New Era, which is an isometric city building game and a remake of the classic. I'm really enjoying the fact that the graphics have a nice update, and there's a couple new quality of life features like the global labor pool. Yeah. Okay, so Menefer, a capital is founded. So looks like the win conditions, there's several things going on here this time. We're gonna have a population requirement of 1,500. Develop our housing up to spacious apartments. And then we've got culture rating requirements, our first monument rating requirement, prosperity, and a kingdom rating requirement. And the monument it wants is a small mastaba. So these two things in particular tell me we need to have a good source of income, and likely other cities will be asking us for things. So you want to be able to fill the requests of other cities. That's how you improve your kingdom rating.
After a lengthy struggle, King Hor-Aha has managed to unite the twin kingdoms of Upper and Lower Egypt and proclaimed himself Pharaoh over all Egypt. As a sign of his absolute sovereignty and the establishment of this, the first dynasty of Egypt, Hor-Aha has ordered the founding of an imposing capital at Men-Nefer, from which he may govern this fledgling nation. Because of your family's many generations of faithful service to this land, Pharaoh has chosen you to be the architect of this splendid city. Because the capital is the very symbol of our kingdom, its citizens must enjoy a quality of life heretofore unknown in this land. To this end, you will eventually need to trade with other cities in the realm and to provide a higher standard of education for at least some of your citizens. You must also build a sacred mastaba tomb for the city's nobles.
So now we're getting into things here. We're going to be doing trading. We're going to be doing monument building. Obviously, we are Nikot the 5th at this point. So 5 generations in, and we've been chosen to create the capital. So begin by planning for areas of housing. So you don't have to have exact copies, but this is kind of the basics of what the game expects in terms of utility and function here. You want to have a loop that your walkers can get access to things. Your walkers come from the buildings and they need access to the housing. So we do a little bit of a variant off this. This is I tend to prefer having the housing on the outside of the ring and then the services on the inside. That's more of a personal preference. And then desirability is also a big factor. Okay, so Menefer has reeds, which is how we're gonna make our papyrus, but that's not unlocked yet. It's got farmland, so we can do chickpea farming and barley. And we're gonna want to get our barley up quickly as well, because beer's probably the thing that other cities are going to want. We can also, beer, nobody really asks for pottery. And eventually papyrus. Beer and papyrus. Papyrus is a great export. We have 3 gods. Ptah, Osiris, and Bast. We're gonna get into monument building later on. Okay. And we don't currently have access to the world map, although that will unlock at this stage somewhere. We'll focus maybe in this northern section. So what we could do, we could build a housing loop here, and then we can build our industries up here, and in the middle would be like our granaries and storage. So I think that's a pretty good workflow. So given we've got a lot of green here, we'll be all right. Okay, so we'll take it. We'll go up a little bit further. There. Let's zoom in a little bit. I think I have left just enough space. Oh, no, not enough space. Interesting. We go to choice here. I can leave the roadblock in to make it a more functioning loop, or I can put the festival square in. Wicker Dolphin says, is it possible to export culture, like use papyrus to make great works of poetry or whatever? No, that's not within the bounds of the gameplay. Although, as far as I'm aware, I've never made it past like mid-level missions in this game, but no, it's normally, I think, just objects. You can export papyrus, but I don't think you can export like text. Yeah, I say we just go ahead, throw in the festival square there. It might mess a little bit with some of our walkers, but they're usually pretty good about reaching things. Okay, so up on this side, that should be pretty good for... Actually, I don't need that one. All right. we're gonna go ahead and put the village palace up here. And the personal mansion here. Now these two things each have a treasury, which is why you want to have a police station near them, because criminals will steal your salary. And also the cool thing is this is a generational treasury for the family. So I will collect money as we go, and I can use it to buy gifts for things. So I'm just thinking a little bit about city planning here. Yeah, I think we go ahead and build along this lane. And I believe what our population goal was 1,500. We can definitely reach that with one loop. You can get a good stable like 2,000, 2,500, depending on how close you pack them. And like, we'll go ahead and start. So we're gonna need a lot of houses. I'll leave that one open. As I keep an eye on our treasury. So, okay, what priority one is money, and then money and food. 1, 2, 3 farms of barley should be plenty. We'll definitely need more chickpeas. So we'll start there. But I did 8 plots of farming, so I need 2. Two work camps. We'll let some people move in. So what we're going to try to do is get our first, our food and our first imports in. I think we'll also want me 2 things of clay and potters as well. Okay, so what we wanted to accept all chickpeas except no clay. Accept all barley and beer, reeds and papyrus, pottery, bricks. Okay, yeah, the only thing we don't want to accept at this point in time is clay. We're gonna need a lot of workers, so we're gonna go ahead and build in some heavier population booms. And yes, we will have to build in bazaars, but I figured we'd wait until the first harvest was up. Oh, and we will need breweries. Let's do here and here for breweries. Eventually, we're gonna need papyrus makers as well. Which I might put along here. This might be our papyrus maker. Oh no! Okay, so we've upset Bast. This is what happens when we start neglecting the gods. Bast is the deity in charge of the home and housing. Angry Kitty has destroyed some of our houses. Gosh. Okay, we also forgot to put in a few things too. Alright, so... Alright. Yes, I do need to appease the kitty. I actually have several problems here already. Technically, our patron is Ptah. Here's what we'll do to appease Bast. We'll give her a shrine. Oops, did I put in two? I sure did. That's what I need. Okay. Okay. So, with your patron god, you always want to have either one more temple or... They're all angry at me right now. Why? What have I done? I know what I've done. Alright, Bast. We will hold a festival for you. Unfortunately, it's not a very big one. Okay. Not the greatest start to our capital. Oh gosh, that was so many houses. Thank you so much, Kitty God. Oops. Undo that last one. I might not have been able to. See, I might have built this a little too fast. We'll see. Okay, good. So we have chickpeas and we have barley, which is great. Except no clay. Okay, because this is where we're storing our resources, we actually want the bazaar people to have the shorter routes to them. So we're gonna place our bazaars in here. And for the moment, we're gonna limit their purchasing of beer because I don't want to. I want to be able to stockpile some of that. And we'll continue throwing festivals to Bast so that she is no longer upset with us, hopefully. Alright, we have people going back out. So these, I don't think we had a very good inundation. I think Osiris was probably mad at us. So we're not, because these look very pale compared to like, they should be a darker saturation here. So we're probably not going to get a huge crop this upcoming year, which is unfortunate. But we will make do. I have to reach a spacious apartment before I can move on to the next bit here. Also, let's, before we run out of money, add in our gardens. You got water? Oh, I don't think I finished putting in the other things. So you need a physician. You will need a courthouse. I think I did do an apothecary though, so we should be good on that. And let's go ahead and throw another festival. So we're gonna keep throwing festivals to Bast for a little while. The reason being, Bast actually has one other very important feature. It's kind of like a cheat, honestly. If she's happy with you, she will make the other gods happy with you as well. I think we're gonna leave the housing there because we are not currently good on food. And we've got 25% unemployment. So we definitely could. Maybe we'll add a little bit more in the pottery department. It doesn't need to be excessive. Oh, we need to start adding in our other things. So. Okay, we're down to 17% unemployment. That's a really good sign. To a spacious homestead. Okay, desirability is still a problem. Okay, plazas are going to be very expensive, but they might help us out a lot. Okay. How was our harvest? Ugh, we didn't get much out of that at all, did we? That's not good. We actually might see a de-evolution this year. Okay. Well, we've got the money. Let's go ahead. Throw another small festival. The other thing we could do... Well, we do have some unemployment that would make them happier. We could add in a few extra temples. Could cheese it a little bit. That wouldn't be the greatest thing. Okay. You know what? Let's do this. Let's build a temple to Bast right there. I think we already have one to Ptah. But we can build one to Osiris. As long as Ptah doesn't get upset with us, that should be okay. What's going on here? Oh yeah, we're low on food is part of the issue. Are we still... Okay, yeah, we still have enough unemployment. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some more chickpea farms. Hopefully that'll help counterbalance some of our low harvests. Okay. We'll go ahead and allow them to start buying beer. We have a bit of it stored up. Okay, we're doing better now. So we should get a good flood in next time. All right, and we've also reached the stage where we can start with papyrus. So I'm guessing, yep, okay. The beer helped evolve this housing up to an apartment standard. Although, okay. Now we're going to have access to reed gatherers. We'll do one there. And papyrus makers. We'll do actually quite a few papyrus makers. And we'll do one more storage house. No clay, no reeds. No reeds. Alright. This guy should produce enough for at least 2 to 3 of these. I'm gonna try to see if he'll stretch it to 4. But basically, they will be picking the reeds, processing them, and sending them to the papyrus makers. If we can get quite a few papyrus makers, that would be really good for us. But we will hold off on building a school until, Hey, Lily! Welcome in. We are on the 5th city already. We actually... Oh, here's a problem. Okay. So these, see how not everybody is moving? That means there wasn't enough storage space for all of them. However, if you don't get them moving in time, when the Nile floods, they will get wiped out and take all their resources with them. So that's why you want to make sure you have enough storage for things. All right, and it looks like Osiris is doing a good job covering up all of our things. We're gonna go ahead and throw another festival. Really, I think it was the lack of temples that was making them upset. But we'll go ahead and throw a festival. Oh, we are starting to run low on money. Hopefully we can open up our trade soon. I don't think I can build another storage yard for the papyrus. That's okay. They'll be taking out a bunch of chickpeas because we were low on food. So hopefully that'll make some room for the papyrus. Yeah, we had several early mishaps on this map. Starting with not building enough temples, not throwing enough festivals. We're running out of money. We have not hit debt yet, which is good. Now we've got some papyrus going. So I know I need to build a school before it will allow me to trade, is most likely. Okay, that's a great blessing. So Bast will also multiply the amount of food and goods. So we shouldn't have a starvation issue again, where the houses were downgraded due to lack of food. But our Debins are getting very low. Ooh, okay, there we go, trade. All right, so let's go to the world map. We just opened trade routes. So this will show the location of our own city as well as other cities in the world. Here we can pay, oh gosh. I don't think there's gonna be a trade route cheap enough without putting us into debt. Wait, we can go into a little bit of debt, we just cannot get to the 5,000 mark. All right, we're gonna go into debt for this. There's no doubt about it. We want to find a place that buys either beer or papyrus. This guy buys nothing. Really, the thing is he's going to be selling bricks. But we're not going to open that route yet. Okay, they don't buy beer, but they do buy papyrus. This is going to put us into debt for the first time. Okay. So, the first time your city goes into debt, you do have somebody who will kind of give you a little bit of emergency money. But if it goes into debt again, you start losing kingdom rating. But we needed that trade route open. Because we need to be able to start exporting our surplus papyrus. That's how we're gonna make our money. And Lily says, sounds legit, if a bit too real, go into debt to open a trade route to try to bring in more trade and more money. Absolutely. That's basically exactly what's happening here. Why don't we accept nothing but papyrus here. And bricks. And that should help us cover some of our costs. Import 800 bricks from Perwadget before beginning work on this here. Oh, so we do need to, again, open another trade route. Well, we got a little bit of money now from our illustrious benefactor, who is unnamed. My goal is to try to get the papyrus exporting in. What did you? Oh, he promised us double the. Cyrus, that's very nice of you, but we're having storage issues as it is. All right. What's our employment look like? 10%. Okay. I'll do one more. Oh gosh, this is gonna be a monster. Okay. We're only gonna accept chickpeas and bricks. I want them to start consolidating their things into one warehouse. So that way when the trader comes by, he'll stop here and he'll pick up a bunch of papyrus. I did squish this in a little too much, which is a problem. Okay. So our exporting must have worked because our Devons went up. So let's go ahead and we will start importing bricks. That's at 800. Okay. Ooh, what's going on here? See, this is not good. This house cannot evolve. Oh, it ran out of food. We should be picking up some food soon. Don't worry. We have a decent amount of money. Let's throw an okay festival. And what's our unemployment? 32%. Go ahead. Add a little bit more. Oops, barley into the mix. Because we're gonna want to have a nice stock of beer. So there's plenty of pottery in here, plenty of pottery in here. Okay, so this was not a complete flood, which means I think Osiris probably wasn't like super happy with us. Really what they want is a grand festival, but I don't have enough beer stocked up for a grand festival. Alright, we got 400 bricks. Just gonna need 400 more and we can start building our first monument. And we are gonna have to add to our population as well. Let's review. 1,500. Oh, actually, we're very close to that. We actually probably could. It's our... Where's the housing overseer? Okay. We can produce or import food. No food in stock for the coming month. Current housing can hold 89 more people. So we actually, as long as we have people coming to the city, we should be able to reach our population goal. So we shouldn't have to worry about developing too much more. Ooh, exciting. Okay. So we must have reached, yep, there's the other 400 bricks. Now we can build our small mastaba. We gotta find a place for our small mastaba, and it has to be connected to the road. We also want it to be close to to be close to the area where the bricks are. I think right there. We've reached the end of the tutorial. It is now up to us to finish Minefer's mastaba. Make sure you balance your imports and exports, and your citizens have access to all the resources they need. Um, Now, new buildings will unlock as we go, but they're not going to give us very much else in the way of tutorials. So, and from now on, it's just figuring it out as you go. Let's see. We'll do the bricklayers there. So we'll have the workers come in and they'll start terraforming. They're gonna start making this ready, this area. They're gonna clear out the grass and the land, and they're gonna dig a little hole so they can put a foundation in. So you can watch the progress of the monuments being made as you go too. It's really cute. Just like you can watch the farmers or the other things. I think that's the part I like the most about this particular city building game, is while it is mainly kind of like the omniscient planner and just resource management, it has such personality with the little walkers. And I haven't shown you guys this, but here, we'll do this now. Hang on.
I hope I'm credited for the great condition of this city.
Each of the professions for walkers has a different little. You can click on them.
I do my best to give the people what they want.
And they've got these little sayings that kind of exemplify what their role is.
Carrying water is not entertainment. I wish we had some real diversions here.
It is very cute. Actually, I don't know. Are these people named?
I do my best to give the people
No, not all of
what
them.
they want.
Yeah. And hopefully the papyrus export will keep us going for quite a while. I will, and we'll accept up to a quarter beer as well. Really, we're reaching the stage where the resources become a bit overloaded sometimes. But that just kind of happens. Alright, we got enough money, and we should have enough beer. Let's throw our first grand festival. That'll make them really happy.
With my bricks, this monument will be strong.
I have to go clear across the city with these goods. It'll take all day.
They're very cute. We can pull back a little bit. So here is our starting capital, Menefer. We didn't go too crazy with the industry. We'll definitely expand this further in later city builds. We didn't go too heavy with the population either, because we don't want a ton of unemployment. Honestly, this is way more than the game wants you to have. It wants you to keep your unemployment below 10%, which can be very difficult to do. Let's see, here's the problem now. We're actually full up on chickpea storage. So what we're going to do, we're going to expand up in this direction. Oh no! Run faster! Run faster! They still didn't end up with enough, but that's okay. We did lose one of the guys there from the flooding. Monument builds are the thing that really take the city a long time. Like I can put it up to 5 times speed now, but I don't know that our city's that stable yet. So honestly, it's not that bad. But I expect somewhere along the way we're gonna get a request from Pharaoh to deliver probably beer. Actually, we have a lot of barley in storage. Let's add a room for one more brewery there. This one reed gathering building is managing to sustain 4 papyrus makers. That's crazy. Just have this weird space right here. So I'm gonna throw in a couple of extra shrines for good luck. Got the resources for it. Throw in a little bit of extra housing. Oh, it's not gonna want to be next to there. That's okay. And we have not completely devastated our storage supply of chickpeas, which is really good. We still have way too much barley. We're gonna take out 2 barley farms because I don't need them anymore. Unless I can add in a bunch more breweries. And if I'm worried about unemployment, the thing I'll want to add is, I think some more bricklayers and work camps. And then an architect building and a firehouse. Because this has roadblocks, so none of the other architects or firemen are going to be able to get down here for patrolling. I think we've reached our culture rating. Alright, we're good. We're good on our kingdom rating.
After a lengthy struggle, King
What's our prosperity rating? 58. I think we got that too. At this point, it's just the mastaba and trying not to collapse the city. Alright, I think now's the time we'll risk going into ×5 speed. Oh, you know what? Let's not do that just yet. We want to have a place dedicated to bricks. Probably don't need two, to be honest. And let's see, we're still doing good on Debbins, so we'll go ahead and up our import amount. So many festivals to the kitty. Okay. Now I think we're in a good position to move to ×5 speed. Just want to make sure we're not overspending anything. Yeah, it looks like our exports for papyrus are still doing really good. Technically, I could find out the exact numbers here. I've got a commerce, treasury. So far this year, our total income last year was 6,245. Our expenses were 5,766. Okay, that's pretty close. It usually does end up being close, but you don't want to mess with these numbers too much, or people will stop coming to your city. And if the kingdom says they're going to pay more, you need to immediately match it. I think that was a blessing. Yes. A small blessing. Oh, that's good. I'm just waiting for the kingdom request for beer. There's gotta be one. There's got to be. Alright, that's a good flood. Yeah, I know we lost a little bit of chickpea, but we had plenty in storage, so I'm not too worried about it. I think these blessings from Bast are what's keeping us from actually using up our storage, because if the housing supply of food doesn't actually dip because she keeps replenishing it, then the bazaar doesn't need to take it out. And we have an entire pottery storage yard over here. Did we ever put a school in? Yes, we did. It's down over here. Honestly, I don't think there's anything we're missing from this city, just the mastaba. If I were to rebuild this, I would probably... Oh yeah, it is. 12th Night says, it is satisfying watching the progress of the monument. Absolutely. That's one of the better, like... That's one of the nice things about this game too, is... Okay, here's our first request for... Oh, butts. Okay, why did it have to be papyrus? Okay, alright, so we got a problem here. I gotta quickly pause, because we're at ×5 speed. I don't have enough papyrus to fill this request, so I have to immediately make some changes. I'm gonna go to commerce. I am going to stockpile the good, because I need to be able to fulfill that request. Now, I believe requests are partially randomly generated. I was expecting a request for beer, which is much more common than papyrus. Was not expecting the papyrus one. So now our Devons are gonna take a bit of a hit potentially, because we're gonna be paying for a lot of things and not having a good income until we can get our papyrus stocks up. I don't want to speed through too quickly, because I only have a certain amount of time before the request for goods expires, like becomes late. Oh, okay.
Congratulations. You have built a capital worthy both of the living and the dead. And by developing trade relations with other cities, you have introduced your city to the world stage.
So funny enough, we actually completed our build requirements before the trade request expired, which is really, really good for me, because if I can't fill the trade request, your kingdom rating plummets. Like, it takes a really hard hit. And I needed 40, I succeeded at 42. That would have pushed us back at least another probably calendar year in the game before I could get it back up. So that's exciting. Hey, we have reached 8 o'clock, achieved the goal of completing the first 5 missions in Pharaoh: A New Era, which completes our tutorial. Yeah, it's great timing. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start wrapping up the stream now, but expect us to continue on and to build bigger and better cities probably in the nearby future. and you'll be able to find this VOD as well as other game VODs on my YouTube channel at The Complete Nictory. You can find announcements or links when we're going live on my Blue Sky account at The Complete Nictory. And if you are so inclined, please like, follow, subscribe, or send a Ko-Fi to us if you would like. And with that, let's go ahead and we'll do a quick check to see if there is anyone. Do I have anyone here? Nobody that I'm currently following, although I know. Oh, I have a couple more thank yous actually before I do anything else here. I would like to thank Wigger Dolphin and 12th Night for being my first 2 subscribers to the channel. They're Prime subscribers. I'm very excited about getting that started. We just unlocked that feature here. Also, I will thank Lily42 for joining us today and also being my mod with 12th Night, helping keep our chats clean and safe and otherwise engaging and friendly. So I really appreciate all of that from you guys. I don't have any followers live right now, or anybody I'm following who's live right now. So I'm not gonna raid yet, but we will try to do that as we continue on looking for raid opportunities to enhance other people's streams and to make other content creator contacts. So thank you all for joining us tonight, and I hope to see you again. Have a great night.